Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. I'm here today and realizing I match my walls. Kind of crazy. Okay, well, there you go. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So I'm here today to do my January wrap up. Gotta be kind of quick because I'm losing lighting. It is early afternoon, but it's also January, so we're gonna get right to it. I am so happy with how much I read in January. I've got 5 full books that I completed, and I started 8, so I'm in the middle of 3 of them, which is fine, totally cool. I've been taking this kind of approach of reading more of what I want to, when I want to, and it's led to me starting more books before finishing others, which is alright. That's totally different from me. That usually I'm very persistent that I need to finish the book I'm reading before I start another one, but we're trying up new things, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so first book I completed in January was Jody A Spark of Light. This follows the story of an abortion clinic who the people inside are taken hostage by a gunman. So her main kind of thing that Jody likes to bring up is abortion. So she likes to bring up subjects that can be very polarizing and can be very or can have quite the debate around it, and she does this really, really well. So this follows a number of characters, so I'm going to give you that it's very character heavy, and it also follows a father-daughter. So the father is the hostage negotiator and finds out that his daughter is inside the clinic. It's also written in a different time perspective for Jody. It starts at 5 p.m. and goes backwards in time to 8 a.m. So it's a little bit different. Jody doesn't normally write that way, but overall the story was amazing and fantastic. 5 stars. Not my favorite Jody book, but still definitely highly recommend it. And I do have a more in-depth review on this book. I started a new series called Soapbox Book Reviews. I'll put a link below if you want to check out more of my thoughts on this book, but I really did like it. The next book I picked up, very surprisingly, because I did this during a try a chapter little challenge that Sarah and I did together to see if we could get rid of books, and I ended up just reading the whole book. So I picked up A Stranger in the Woods, The Extraordinary Story of the Last True Hermit by Michael Finkel. So this follows the story of, what is his name? Christopher Knight. He left his house in 1986, drove off into Maine, and wasn't heard of for 27 years, right? Completely lived off the land. He did steal things, so it wasn't completely off, well, he was off the grid, but it's not like he wasn't without Campbell's chicken noodle soup or something like that. So very interesting story, super, super short. I totally just ate it up. A couple parts it got a little slow, so I think I gave it about a 4-star, but still very interesting that somebody would choose to do this, and his reasons why were so eye-opening. And in fact, I should actually find a part and notate it, because I love the quote, or I love the analogy. Kind of people are like, how could you live like that? And his answer to us is, well, how can you live like you do? So it was very, very interesting. It was a good book. The next one I picked up was Codename Verity by Elizabeth Wine. I'm not going to tell you what I rated this, because this is part of a little 5-star Book List Thursday prediction. So this is a book one of my viewers, one of my subscribers, said or suggested for me to read that they think I will give 5 stars. So I'm not going to tell you what it is. You got to wait for that Book List Thursday reveal. But I did read this book, Codename Verity. This World War II historical fiction. I don't need to say much more, but follows some young women who are kind of part of the kind of Air Force in England, but not officially, because they're women, and one of them becomes a bit of a spy and gets captured. Very, very good. Very good. Highly recommend. But I can't tell you how many stars yet. Next one I finished, I actually buddy read this with Michelle. Had a blast buddy reading it, and oh my gosh, what is my problem and why have I not read this before now? But we read The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and oh, such a beautiful book. But again, part of a project, not gonna tell you how I rated it, but I read it and had a blast reading this with Michelle. And I highly, highly, highly suggest if you're ever gonna read this book, do it as buddy read, because you're gonna need to talk, for sure. So that was super fun. The last book I read, literally just finished about 5 minutes ago, was The Only Woman in the Room by Marie Benedict. So this is a historical fiction based on true events, and this really follows the story of Hedy Lamarr. So it's not a nonfiction, so there's definitely she took some liberties with the stories, but for the most part, it follows the story of Hedy Lamarr. So she grew up in Austria. She came from a Jewish family. She ended up marrying a arms dealer who was doing business with Hitler, decided to get out of that, came to the United States, became an actress and a scientist. Right? This, again, was amazing. Short little book. I gave it 4 stars. Couple places where I was like, could use a little bit of a different way to tell that maybe. I don't know. But I can always... overall, love the story. I just think they got into some of the details and some of the weeds a little bit too much that weren't necessary. It didn't really add that much to the story. But overall, fantastic. Loved it. I'm so excited to add this to my World War II historical fiction pile of books that I've read. Definitely a different take on the war. To be able to come over here and the guilt she felt for getting out of that situation that she was in and escaping what she knew what was happening over there really motivated her to do more with her life. And so it was beautiful. It was great. I love it. And now I'm on this kick that I need to know more about her, pretty much as I can find. All right, so that brings us to what am I reading now? So there's 3 books that I'm in the middle of because I don't know. The first one is Grit by Angela Duckworth. This talks about the power of passion and perseverance, more of a self-helpish type of book, trying to figure out what kind of grit someone has and how they can leverage that grit and where to use it and what to do with it. So I am enjoying it. It's a little not my typical taste, but we decided to read this for my book club at work. I'm a little nervous because I'm nervous. It's a very scientific-y type book, but I'm about a third of the way through, I would say, and I did get the audiobook, so I am enjoying listening to it a lot more, and I've learned a lot from this, a lot about why you're motivated to do certain things over other things and how to kind of push yourself past that, into that grittiness, into that, from that passion piece of it to perseverance through things. So it's very interesting, but definitely a different book than what I'm used to reading. The next book I have picked up is Pachinko by Min-Jin Lee. This story follows the story of a girl growing up in Korea and kind of talks about her family and where she goes from there. I'm not very far into it, but I am liking it. Slightly slow, but I feel like this is one of those slow burner books that you take little by little and you just take it all in. So I've got that book. Hopefully I can take it all in before it goes back to the library. And then someone at work, we met for our first book club at work, and we talked about the book Born a Crime by Trevor Noah, which you all know that I'm absolutely obsessed with and love. And we were talking about how we as a group just didn't know a lot of the African history side of things, which, good or bad, we were all kind of interested in. So she brought in this book and said that I needed to read it. It's called Amon, the Story of a Somali Girl, as told to Virginia Barnes and Janice Boddy. This follows Amon. She grew up in Somalia. It talks, right now I'm really learning about her mother and where her mother kind of came from, and then we'll get into her kind of life. But she survived, she made it through a lot of stuff, and I'm looking forward to kind of learning a little bit more of the Somalian history through Amon's words. So I am really enjoying this as well. I haven't made it very far, but what I've read, I definitely am sucked into. Next up for February, I don't have a huge plan. Not really sure where to go. I got 2 books kind of on the docket that I have, well, 1 book that I have to read, and that's for my book club, The House We Grew Up In by Lisa Jewell. I just picked this up recently, just hauled it in my latest haul video. Kind of a family epic tale about growing up, and something happens at Easter, and we're not sure what, some sort of tragedy. So we get an introduction to this group. I think there's 4 kids. Something happens, and then we're brought back to kind of, the kids have to face what happened and deal with a mother who is a hoarder. So it sounds interesting. I'm excited. I can't wait. From the people who I know have read it so far, they really enjoy it. So I am excited about that one. And then this one I feel the need to pick up because this week, I live in Wisconsin. So this week there has been 3 snow days. The one was a true snow day. We got 11 inches of snow. Today it was closed because our wind chills were, I think downtown was 50 below. Tomorrow's the same thing. So I'm feeling very winter thriller-ish. So I'm picking this one up. No Exit by Taylor Adams. All I know is what I'm reading on the back because I'm not reading anymore. It says 13 hours, 4 strangers, 1 missing child, no exit. She knows her odds, she'll fight anyway. But I've heard it takes place during a blizzard. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but it looks like on the cover it could. So it feels very winter, snow day, good thriller-ish. So I'm picking that up. That's happening like as soon as I'm done talking to y'all, I'm picking that up. So those are kind of what is on my radar for February. Now, I have a whole bunch of review books up here that I need to get to. So I think I'm going to try to put those towards the top of my list because I just need to get to them, including this is my latest review book too. And I got to stop putting those off. So we might have to pick those up sooner than later. Other than that, I'm going to just kind of go with what my gut tells me I want to read. And lately, I've been really craving historical fiction, which is why I picked up The Only Woman in the Room. But now that I finished that, I want more. So we'll see. I've got the Alice Network back here I need to pick up. I really want to read America's First Daughter. I don't know. There's an abundance. So we'll see where it takes me. I don't know. I'm going to kind of leave this month up in the air and just see where I go because I haven't done that in a while and I'm really excited to just pick up whatever I feel like. So that's where I'm going. Let me know how do you pick your TBR books? Do you go with kind of what you're feeling like, or do you have a set number of books you read every month? I've tried both. I've enjoyed both. I've not enjoyed both. So kind of wherever my head is at is kind of where I go. Hopefully it doesn't annoy you guys too much. But I'm losing light fast, so comment below, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!